Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to go off topic a little bit. Just had a very cool life experience. Want to share a little bit about it. So wife and I have been incredibly blessed that we've been in a position to purchase a property down in Florida a few years ago with my parents, and recently we had Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton both come through the area, have done significant damage to many properties around the area. And so as we wound up didn't have anything from Helene, but from Milton, we were anxiously awaiting what the results were, right? Because we got hit with so much rain and wind, some of the most devastating amounts of rain and wind that's ever happened in this area. And so we wound up and were able to get a person in here to look at our place about 36 hours after Milton had come through. And in our place, which I'm actually at now, we had some pretty significant amounts of water in our home down here that had come in off of the balcony, and it was probably 8-9 feet in with some standing water. And after that much time, I knew the wood floors were going to be ruined. So I was trying to figure out the best way to remedy that issue as quickly as possible. And so first person I called was my dad, and said, hey, here's the situation. We're going to have to change out these floors, right? Water and wood floors sitting for that long usually is just a terrible thing. So we were going to put down a waterproof flooring. We didn't know what was going to be available in the area, so we wound up and loaded up, or we were going to load up the flooring into a rental and drive it down here. One of my very next calls was to a good friend of mine, Justin Cole, and very few people have the kind of friends that I do, and Justin is certainly one of those. That you can call. He's one of my people that I can call and be like, hey man, I need you. And he's like, all right, give me a little bit and I will figure it out. So a day later, he was like, all right, I got the things moved for next week that we can do it. So we wound up and drove down on Monday. And so just having the types of friends that will drop most anything to come help you when you're in a time of need, I can't tell you how valuable that is, and certainly hope that is something that all of you have, or if you don't yet, something that is certainly worth striving for. But just to kind of hit on a few things, right? So friends can go a long way, and the importance of having those good people in your life is just absolutely critical. Whether it's going through, emotional support, right? People have bad things that happen. Firm believer in the this too shall pass, right? All the things in the world can be going wrong, and you have to remember, this too shall pass. But having good quality friends that you can go and vent to, even if you're not necessarily looking for information, right? Everybody's had those scenarios, where they needed to go and just vent to somebody and let them listen or help, develop a plan, or, what are some options? Have they been through those experiences? Do they know other people that have had those experiences? What do they do? And it's just vital, I think, for humans in general to have that camaraderie, that friendship, and then also, if you have good friends around you, they will push you from a personal growth standpoint, right? If your friends aren't wanting you to continue to get better and to be a better version of yourself, probably may need to reconsider the types of friends that you're around. Once again, I've been incredibly blessed with friends that I have, not only in my local community, but friends from all over the country. And having those people in your life is truly remarkable to help you get where you want to be. And then you can even go as far as, they have plenty of studies that talk about the health benefits of having friends, right? Recently been watching, they talk about, the strength in your legs and hamstrings, and making sure that those are up up to snuff. And part of that is so that way you can get out and be mobile and go be around friends and other humans and interact. Absolutely critical. And there's just something to be said about actually being in the same room with somebody. I know when, several years ago, right when we were all locked down for COVID and couldn't go anywhere, I would say that was probably the thing that drove me crazy the most, not being able to be out and about and around people. One of the things that we did was, we got on Zoom calls and to hang out with our friends to get that personal interaction, and just can't compliment my group of friends enough on the types of things we did and how much we enjoy being around each other and how good that is for all parts of emotional health, personal health, and especially those health benefits. The next thing too is just getting to have those shared memories, right? If you don't have those cool stories that you get to tell, right? So now I have one where I can say, all right, we a few days notice we wound up and loaded up a van, with 1,300 pounds, or that had a 1,300 pound capacity, that we loaded down with 1,100 pounds of floors. Not to mention the other things that we needed to come down. So we had quite a bit over capacity, and it was screaming at us on the way down here and didn't like all the weight that was in there. But getting to have stories like that, and I'm sure there's plenty of other stories I'd be happy to share off camera too. But without having those other people involved, those friends there to share in those memories, man, it just doesn't hit the same. I love to sit and reminisce with old friends, and we get to share those old stories from those memories that we made. And then the last thing, or one of the last things I want to touch on too, is having good friends that can hold you accountable. All too often, people surround themselves with others, that tell them the things that they're wanting to do, wanting to hear. Oh yeah, you're doing the right thing. Oh, you're doing this, blah, blah, blah. But how many times in your life has the person that's actually cared about you the most, that has loved you the most, that has been that better friend, is telling you the things that you absolutely do not want to hear? Like, hey man, you screwed up here. This is doing this wrong. You're doing this. You're going down the wrong path. You're falling off the wagon. You need to get back on board with whatever that is, without trying to get into too many different details. Those people that tell you the things that you really need to hear, but it's not what you want to hear. Those people oftentimes care about you more than the others that are telling you exactly what you want to hear. And having those friendships and those people in your life is it makes life so much better. And then you can get into the other stuff. I'm a firm believer that humans are meant to be around other humans, and having those other people in your life, kind of touching on lots of those things, help prevent, loneliness and getting too isolated, and being around others is critical for, mental health and physical health and growing yourself, and having those friendships help prevent a lot of those things, right? So I think we have some pretty significant increases in people that are dealing with anxiety and depression and those things. And I think a lot of that has to do with they're not interacting with people the way that they used to, or the way that, we used to do as a culture back in the day. And that's just absolutely critical to get out and be around others. You can certainly be careful with the amount of people, right? If you don't want to be around big groups of people, whatever, there's still, I can still firmly believe that you've got, a couple of friends that you can be close with. And, heck, even just sitting in the same room, but being in the same room with somebody, even not going over anything, man, that just does so much for you. So just want to give a big shout out to Justin in particular, but all of my group of friends. My wife and I talk about a lot. We're so blessed for the people that we have got to meet and develop relationships with, and absolutely critical. So I know I'm a little off topic from the real estate side of things, but certainly wanted to share that today. Hopefully you have some great people in your life. Hopefully you make a little bit of extra effort to go and be around them. Take time out of, everybody's, busy and doesn't have enough time. I believe those relationships are absolutely critical and something that you should take advantage of. So thank you, and looking forward to see you on our channel as we get to add more videos.